Greetings. I have sent a spreadsheet to all principals and librarians in order to assist with the creation of a computer allocation plan based on the information previously shared with both groups. This video will walk you through the spreadsheet to assist you in ensuring the information is as accurate as possible. I have shared most of the spreadsheet with you, however the data you need to focus on at this time are the base data at the top of the spreadsheet. You may also want to review the current inventory table and update the inventory database as needed. In the listings of buildings, those buildings that are on the refresh schedule this year are indicated in blue, while those that were on refresh last year are in black. Please review the column for your school to ensure the counts of classrooms and staff are as accurate as possible. Enrollment will be updated as soon as it is available. Other teaching locations are those locations that are not a classroom but are regularly used for instruction. These locations are such that a smartboard and projector would be appropriate. In reviewing the counts of staff, these counts should represent staff who are more than 0.5 FTE in your building and use a computer as a primary part of their job responsibilities. This would not include custodians, paraeducators, and substitute teachers, for instance. The count of staff should also not include Grantwood AEA and Family Resource Center staff, as they are funded differently and have computers provided outside this allocation. In the current inventory table, the green and yellow highlighting indicate computers the schools will keep in inventory, and the gray highlighting indicates computers that will be recycled. The rest of the spreadsheet calculates from the data previously reviewed and is provided for your reference only. These data will change as the source data in the base data and current inventory tables are updated. Since there will undoubtedly be many situations we fail to consider in advance, and because there are decisions remaining to be made, such as how tablet devices will factor into allocations, the computer allocation will be done in two phases. The first phase will cover the laptops for administrators and teachers, desktops for other staff, desktops for smartboard locations, and a ratio of 1 computer per 4 students. In the Phase 1 table, the first 3 rows show the count of computers needed based on the underlying data. The total computer allocation row shows the number of computers allocated to each building under this first phase. The current inventory row shows the count of computers that will remain in the building. The computers to add row shows the total number of computers that will be added to the building in this phase. The change from current inventory row is provided for reference only and shows how the Phase 1 allocation differs from the total current inventory in the building. The in-school distribution table shows how the allocated computers will be distributed in the building. The first row repeats the allocation from the previous table. The following rows indicate how many of those computers will be used for staff and smartboard location. The row for labs shows the minimum number of computers that should be allocated to labs. The classroom computer row shows the count needed to put 1 student use computer in each elementary classroom. The goal by Phase 2 is to have 2 student use computers in each elementary classroom. The final row shows the count of computers schools will have discretion in distributing. These may be used for classrooms, the library, laptop carts, additional labs at secondary schools, etc. You will notice that some schools, such as Hills and Shimmick, have a negative number at this point because the allocation based on their enrollment isn't sufficient to meet the minimum requirements. That is an issue we will need to address. Phase 2 of the allocation increases the count of student use computers to a 1:3 ratio. The total computer allocation row in this table shows the new allocation based on the new ratio. The next row shows the count of computers that would need to be added. The final row is again provided for reference and indicates how the final allocation differs from the total current inventory in the building. The future inventory after Phase 2 table shows how the inventory would be distributed after Phase 2 is complete. As mentioned in the proposed allocation system handout, some computers may need to be shuffled or rebalanced. Note that the distribution of machines is approximately 55% 1 to 2 years old, 29% 3 to 4 years old, and 16% 5 or more years old. The inventory rebalancing table shows a sample of how this might be done. This is only a sample and would need to be done once the base data are updated. As one example, Garner has too many new computers after Phase 2. This may seem like a good thing for Garner, and it is in the immediate window, but unfortunately it leads them to a cliff in the future when they have nothing but old computers. To rebalance the distribution, 10 new computers could be given to Tate, who has too many old computers, and 10 older computers could be given to Garner. Other examples are shown in the table, including rebalancing computers between Lemmy and Northwest, or Borlaug and City. The goal of the rebalancing would be to get each building's distribution to approximate the overall district distribution, 55%, 29%, and 16%. We will only be able to approximate this distribution because schools have made many different decisions in the past on what they purchase, including Macs, netbooks, and high-end desktops for Project Lead the Way, for example. I have attempted to simplify this extremely complex task as much as possible. I hope this video and accompanying documentation help. There will certainly be questions that arise as we work through this. Please share your questions and concerns and talk with your colleagues about them. The data for all schools are shared with everyone purposely, so you can compare your counts to others and ensure you are all counting the same way. If you think you may be counting something differently, reach out to another school and talk with them about how they counted. Let me know your questions too so we can address them. Naturally, like most projects it seems, these data need to be updated ASAP. I am currently working on an RFP for computers and will be putting it out very quickly. The more accurate we can have these data, the more accurate the vendors can bid on our RFP, and the more money we can save. Thank you for your help.